what I need to do right now. I need to await her fire probably once, then stun, and 10 exalted orbs. 10 exalted orbs, guys. I mean, it looks fine for 10 exalted orbs. He is frozen. 10 exalted orbs. 10 exalted orbs to beat Breach boss level 4. And I guess let's start the action. First of all, what we got here? Just this stick alone. It's pretty much like miracle stick. We got critical hit chance, critical damage bonus, attack speed in suffixes, and increased physical damage, high roll, increased lightning damage, elemental damage. So it's just ideal miracle stick, and there is no sticks like this on the market. Like the closest one will be 200 divines right now, but without elemental damage. Elemental damage is insane. I will explain why in a second, but again, basically all items pretty much like high roll, very good ingenuity belt, 79%, hands of wisdom and action with penetration of cold resistance, and double breach ring with stats like that, and pretty amazing stats. So we got lightning damage to attack, cold damage, lightning damage increased, and 24% to all elemental resistances, 21% to fire, and leeching damage as mana. I would just say to you, there's no rings like this right now on the market. It's basically like a miracle ring. So it's just a perfect rolled ring. I got 2 of them, technically, second one with regeneration. So in my opinion, this build will be like 1k divines right now. I wanted to read the comments how much you will price this build. But anyway, it's really high tier end game build. You may see how it melts bosses on the maps basically in 1 second. That's how it melts Breach boss tier 4, basically like you may say like last boss in the game, without any problem. And we will remove every piece of gear right now, every piece of gear. Since there were a lot of comments that saying like my build is so miracle and unachievable. First of all, I would say my build mostly works very nicely thanks for smart passive skill tree with right supportive skill gems and right skills, of course. And equipment is actually not really important. While yeah, it will add a lot of power, still it's not like insanely important, and you can get away without this stuff and play this build nicely. And I got all gear on me right now basically by getting gear myself or with a smart trading. That's what we are going to do today. I'm going to take 10 Exalts from my stash tab, and we're going to make 10 Exalt build to see how it performs compared to the best build probably you can get. The ultimate task for us today is to make sure that this 10 Exalt build can clear tier 15 maps with Breach and Boss. I got some maps ready for us, so that's what we will be playing. And if we can complete this map by only spending 10 Exalts, then definitely you can complete all content in the game, but we will take it farther. We will get Breach Stone and try to beat fully upgraded Breach boss. So, sounds amazing, but let's take it even further. Let's make 0 Exalt build and see how it works. Yeah, 0 Exalt build first. Basically what we got here, we got a character right now with 0 energy shield, 1 life and 100 spirit. For this build to function, we need like 180 spirit, and it only can be achieved with nice body armor. Because we need to have few buffs active. We need Elemental Invocation, Herald of Ice, Herald of Thunder, and Combat Frenzy. That's it. We can survive a little bit without Grim Fist and Wine Dancer, but still we will need them later. For our stats, that's what we got right now. We got 152 dexterity and 114 intelligence. That's what we need to focus on basically when we're doing cheap builds. We need right stats, and that's only because like a lot of power comes with upgrading your skills. So I strike level 20 right now for me, and I need 112 dexterity and intelligence to use it. Yeah, I can use it right now, but Herald of Thunder requires 191 dexterity. So stats is one of the things that we need to think about. And second one is resistances. Low resistance will basically mean you will be one-shotted by a lot of mobs in high tier maps. So we need to make sure we're capping all resistances needed for our build. For my build, we don't need chaos resistance, so that's a little bit easier. And how do we make zero Exalt build? Yeah, of course, we will just roll items at Alva. So let's find a good quarterstaff first. And while this lightning quarterstaff looks pretty good, still this quarterstaff right now, in my opinion, pretty useless. We will just sell it, we don't care. And I will use this one. I will use this one, just nice increase in physical damage. Now let's find a boots. Boots should be just with energy shield. So we're rolling for a few boots. Looking for highest energy shield, just that simple. Let's do same for gloves. For body armor, I want to have a mix of evasion and energy shield, so we got pretty good right now over here. And helmet should be only intelligence. So random helmet with intelligence. This one looks nice. Let's just sell everything over here. And last but not least, rings and amulets. Let's just buy a few amulets, few rings and few bells. I'm looking for utility belt actually. And let's just pick something from here. So we get pretty nice one with stun threshold, with reduced flask charge used. And for rings, we're just looking for something with nice resistances. That's it. When we're going for like zero Exalt build, you just need some resistances and that's it. Or some stats. And basically this cheap gear I will upgrade with Exalts. Of course, I mean, we can keep it like that, but that's basically what you can have when you got a little bit of Exalts to just put on your gear. So in the end, I don't have enough dexterity right now, but I can easily like get away with it by making less intelligence on passive skill tree. The biggest problem for us is resistances, of course. Yeah, when you're buying gear from Alva, you can't control how much resistance you can have. It's a lot harder to maintain, like find perfect gear. But at least we get our stats back. So yeah, it works. It works. So with build like this, I don't have enough spirit to activate elemental invocation. Or do I? Actually, I can remove herbalism pretty easily. And now I can basically make a build ready. So how this build will play out? That's zero Exalt build, tier 15 map. Oh my goodness. Probably if you just beat the campaign, you get better items at least. But again, we get Ice Strike at 40k DPS at completely like free build without any upgrades. We can make equality on this weapon, we can add like sockets and can do it a lot stronger version. For me, the main idea, the biggest problem for this build is survival, of course. Yeah, we are basically one-shotted by most of enemies, but when we are not one-shotted by most of enemies, we can actually clear these maps like fairly easy. As you can see, build works. We basically one-shot mobs most of the time, and that's why the most important stat and most important stuff for us is actually our armor. Basically, we need to hit our resistances, we will survive, and as you can see, we're clearing the map pretty easily. So yeah, we're just clearing it. It's basic map, but again, if we can clear maps like this, then technically you can get everything you need for your content. Since if you're able to do basically this stuff, you can get around like 15 divines per hour and easily upgrade your build. If you wonder how you can get 15 divines per hour, make sure to subscribe, because tomorrow I will show you, I'm editing this video right now, how to basically increase your divines per hour pretty easily, pretty fast, and pretty basic stuff that doesn't require you to do a lot of like insane of work. Basically, you will have fun, you will play the game, and you will get insane amounts of additional extra divines and gear. But today we're having fun in making one 10 Exalt build. 10 Exalt build, yeah, just 10 Exalt build. So let's do it, So this goes into trash, basically, we don't need this stuff. And while our armor is most important, we actually will start with our weapons. So what I want to show you is the stuff that a lot of people getting wrong, and I saw it in the comments of one of my latest videos about crafting, basically when I crafted stuff. People told me in the comments, there's a lot of people like this, who tells like this increased elemental damage is not good on stuff when you don't have elemental damage on stuff. But that's completely incorrect. Let me show you this fun interaction. It's pretty crazy actually. So, if you're searching for your weapon on trade site, basically, you will see these numbers. So it will be like DPS, yeah, damage per second. How it's calculated? You take in your physical damage and it will be medium. So medium between 53 and 111 is 82 or something like that. Then you're multiplying your average damage by attacks per second. So we're doing 1.4 attacks per second. This means our DPS is basically 82 multiplied by 1.4. Or around like 100, 110 probably, like something around that lines. Why do we have 140 DPS almost? Because there's also critical hit chance. So critical hit chance means that every 100 attacks, on average we will do 10 attacks which will be critical hits, and they kinda double damage. With a basic stats like that, it's double damage. So without considering our build, this stuff will make around 137 DPS considering critical hit chance. But this stuff, you see, it got a little bit more bonuses. What DPS this stuff will have? Same, yeah. So that's the secret basically. And that's what a lot of people kinda getting wrong. When you see increased elemental damage with attacks, it's not calculated in DPS of the stuff, but it's actually added to our damage. So let me show you. We get this stuff, and DPS is 10k right now, 10k DPS with just this stuff. But with this stuff, with increased elemental damage, we get 40% more DPS. Yeah, 40% more DPS for 100 increased elemental damage. That's basically how it works. Why? Because Ice Strike is attack. So this elemental damage applied to our attacks. And while you can see it and you can know that this applied to your attacks, and 100% is pretty nice increase, it's just plus 40% damage, considering a weapon won't have it, we can actually really easily use it to our advantage. So now I will show you the secret how to get the best weapons, and all these weapons over here that I got was bought for exactly 1 Exalted Orbs. And what weapon we got for 1 Exalted Orbs, you may see like over here. Look at this crazy stuff, basically. So we got like increased physical damage, lightning damage, attack speed, level 2 melee skills, and dexterity with 584 DPS right now. And there's no even like anywhere close stuffs right now in the market. We can like remove a little bit of stats. And I don't know, but actually like the closest one probably will be like 50 divines, maybe somewhere around that lines. And what is like the funniest part? This stuff don't have any slots right now and no quality. It's just basic stuff. How I bought it? Just look over here. So a lot of people in the comments like this weighted sum trading. I don't like it. It requires a lot of trial and error. It requires a lot of knowledge of the game and weapons, because you can't make the perfect deal with it. It will show you really good weapons, really good like items, but again, you need a lot of trial and error, and when you're actually looking for some stats on your weapon, sometimes you will get like pretty awful results. So right now that's probably best weighted sum weapon we can have, and it got critical hit chance, it got nice lightning and physical damage rolls. So overall, like really nice and powerful weapon considering weighted sum. But we don't have any bonuses to critical damage that our build will very like. And that's where comes game knowledge and stuff. What I really like to do, and that's a lot more easier way to trade for your quarter stuffs, and that's how you can find like really great weapons. I like to use count. Count is insane, but how it works basically. Stat filters will make the weapon with exact stat filter. For example, elemental damage with attack for quarter stuff. And we're looking for something for 1 Exalted Orb. Exactly for 1 Exalted Orbs. By the way, we get two-handed weapon, we can look for 2 Exalted Orbs. And now every weapon we will see will have increased elemental damage with attacks. That's basically how it works. So that's all weapons with increased elemental damage to attacks. And if we add anything, it will always look for this stat included. But if you use count, you can go, for example, to PoE2DB and find out modifiers. You go to modifiers and into quarter stuffs. Now we need to like analyze what is the perfect prefixes and suffixes for us. For me, it's lightning damage, it's cold damage, physical damage, and increased physical damage. And we're basically entering everything over here. So increased physical damage, like we can actually like do increased physical damage over here. But I'm okay with added cold damage, added lightning damage. This will be our prefixes, and then for suffixes it can be like dexterity, it can be intelligence, critical hit chance, critical damage bonus, and attack speed. So that's what we are looking for. Now we will search for this weapon, and we get 2000 matches. Because I forgot to enter how much we want of the stats. Basically we can have 1 prefix and 4 suffixes, because we got 2 prefixes over here. Every weapon can have 3 prefix, 3 suffixes. So we can have, and we got over here 1 Exalted Orb match over here. This looks pretty good, in my opinion. This looks pretty good. But we can loosen the search a little bit. We can use like 3, so at least 3 of this will appear. And now we get 57 results, so we get what to choose from. We can sort by DPS, and by sorting by DPS we will see that like a lot of weapons will be here with for example like 400 DPS. What is the secret is actually, secret is pretty cool. A lot of people actually selling these weapons when they are not using these weapons, and they sell it for extremely cheap prices. How to make sure you're using cheap weapons? Basically, let me like remove this stuff and I will explain to you. So when we don't have this elemental weapon damage, people often sort with DPS and then selling items. For example, this guy playing like Stormweaver, and he is not like actually into the monk, so he don't know what monks need. He probably knows that monks like to have like critical hit damage, and then he will price accordingly. But how he can price the weapons he don't know about. He actually sorts by DPS. So this random dude will sort by DPS probably when he's not playing monk. And he will see, oh, weapons around this DPS will cost around 1 Exalted Orb. Yeah, but when these weapons get extra elemental damage, this weapons is a lot more powerful, like insanely more powerful, with increased elemental damage than just listed DPS, as I showed you. So that's how you can like really easily find insanely valuable items. And what we want to enter also, item quality 0. What does it do? Basically, when you go and improve quality of your weapon, your physical damage will rise, therefore DPS will rise, so the number will rise. And what people actually do a lot, they insert iron runes in the weapon to make DPS look higher. It's complete a noob trap, completely noob trap. And by looking for clear weapons without any holes or like extra stuff, we can find out really good weapons with high amount of DPS or other things. So we can enter like to have at least 2 of these, and we can find something with like 450 DPS, for example, 450 DPS. And that's basically what we got over here. We got weapon with 2 iron runes right now, with increased physical damage, and probably this guy not even playing this weapon, he just inserted these runes to make this weapon look more powerful on the market. Maybe. I don't know how it went, but what we got over here is like pretty insane lightning damage, increased elemental damage with attack. And actually insane amount of really pretty good weapons for just 1 Exalted Orb. Another way to find weapons, good weapons, you can actually remove count, completely remove count, and just look for weapons without any enchantments with some crazy good rolls. So let's try to buy it. 2 Exalted for this stick. Oh yeah, it's definitely shocking. It's pretty good one. What we want to actually do is to drop 1 Exalted on top. I won't include it in build, so it's like 2 Exalted for stick. But again, you can buy pretty cheap stick, drop 1 Exalt and see what happens. And what happened to basically get a little bit more dexterity, so it's like insanely good and fun stick. I'm doing it for all stuffs that I bought for 1 Exalt, and let's see what we got in the end. Is there any like good sticks? How to understand is stick good or not? Basically, you just want to equip it and see DPS. We got 55k for this one, 60k. So I already got like better weapon, even without slots. And 59 over here, this one looks good. Okay, that's actually a pretty good weapon too, but I don't need any more sticks, we just trash them. So what else do we have? 14k, 35, 18. Okay. Basically, I just bought it for 2 Exalted Orbs. I'm sorry that you need to see it, but I don't need this stick basically. And we basically got one with nice dexterity, level 2 melee skills and attack speed, and one with intelligence, critical damage bonus, stuff, and that goes into regal orbs. Another really secret suffix for us is level 2 melee skills. It increases damage a lot. Yeah, it increases damage a lot, as I told you, but you won't see it in DPS. So level 2 melee skills and elemental damage is the secret stats for us to get more damage. I will basically make 2 holes over here, improve quality, and you should just have this resource for you anyway. And we can do boring stuff and insert 2 runes, 2 iron runes basically. So 74k DPS already. We can make it even higher if we farm a little bit of Trials of Chaos and use Soul Cores for critical damage boost. So it will make damage even higher by not showing in DPS. That's what we got in the end. I don't know, but let's find out. Again, there's no stuffs even like close to this, but we bought it for 1 Exalt with nice physical damage roll and level to all melee skills and attack speed. So now we get 8 Exalts left to finish up all our defensive armor slots. Again, idea is simple: look for best prefixes and suffixes on PoE to DB and then go into trade site, and the first thing I will look for is breach rings. So what I'm looking for is breach ring with bonus to all elemental resistances and with at least 3 of those: increased lightning damage, cold damage, lightning damage to attacks, and to all elemental resistance. And we can add extra resistances if needed, for example like fire resistance if we can't find anything. So we got 6 results for 1 Exalt, and we got cold, lightning damage increased, maximum mana, strength, dexterity, and bonus to all elemental resistances. Actually exactly what I'm looking for. If you can't find someone who will trade right now, there's a nice button over here, at least most of the time, is activate live search. Basically, when something like this arrives, you will have notification. While damage is really interesting to buff, we want to find good resistances. So I'm messaging guys with nice elemental resistance and some other resistant type on the ring. Let's say, for example, you're following this guide, but you want to actually buy some really good gear. For example, that costs a lot, not 1 Exalt, but 999 mirrors of Calandra. That's cool to have mirror of Calandra over here, but there's a big noob trap actually. There's a big noob trap that looks like this. If you're looking for something and maybe it will cost like 10 divine orbs, maybe it will cost like 10 divine orbs, there's a big noob trap. Especially when you're looking for something with insane lightning damage. Again, people pricing rings based on lightning damage, for example. While this from 1 to 106 lightning damage is pretty good roll, there's really bad rolls that is disguised for good rolls. For example, this ring got up to 81 lightning damage, and this looks pretty good. While this ring is really nice one, and it may cost 9 divines because it got 22 to elemental resistance, 46 lightning resistance, nice dexterity roll, so it's pretty good ring. In reality, there's a lot of rings which will price almost the same and will look almost the same if you're looking only on lightning damage, but they're kinda disguised because breach ring can have a quality of 50, and this ring actually rolled somewhere around like 50 damage total. So it's 50 damage, but with lightning modifier plus 50%, it will scale up to 81. So make sure to be extra careful when you're buying breach rings, because there's a lot of disguised breach rings which looks pretty good, but in reality they are awful. Hardest part is to find someone who are willing to trade for 1 Exalt. Nice one. Next up, we're looking for any boots with increased movement speed and at least 2 resistances or some stats. Maximum we can get for 1 Exalt is maximum movement speed. That's great, but that's strength intelligence boots. So I need to edit my filter to go only with energy shield boots. So I'm putting minimum energy shield at 150. Now we get less options. And I'm just scrolling to find the best movement speed with best resistances. This one looks great. And it's time to find gloves that will be almost similar to Hands of Wisdom and Action. And it's pretty easy to do. We're looking for intelligence gloves, so we're looking for something with energy shield. Therefore there will be no dexterity. Actually, there's dexterity and intelligence gloves too. But anyway, we're looking for dexterity, intelligence, and attack speed. On our suffixes, critical damage bonus also nice, level 2 melee skills also nice. But on prefix, we're looking for added lightning damage to attacks. Pretty nice variant with lightning damage to attacks, maximum mana, critical damage, attack speed, cold resistance. Sounds great. Sadly, I wasn't able to get that best in slot gloves, but still, I got pretty nice one, with dexterity, fire resistance, and leeching damage as mana. So now we're approaching last 4 slots: belt, body, helmet, and amulet. That's where we need to finish all resistances, and we will start with body armor, since it's most important part for us to have as much protection as possible. Still, again, I bought some like rings, especially this one, with not full stack of bonuses. Let's drop a few exalted orbs on top, just to make sure we're not missing any resistances. No, we're fine. Actually, I need a little bit more intelligence, or do I actually? Let me refund everything. Yeah, we need 20 intelligence. But most importantly, we're looking for body armor with just good evasion and energy shield. We don't care about other stats right now. So let's find good body armor for 1 exalted orb. It probably will be not really like easy, but I see. I don't know if this guy really is selling this for 1 exalt. Let's just find out. It looks amazing. Yeah, he probably having fun. Anyway, we can use same tactics with quality as with weapons. And that's the body armor we're getting. Again, it's pretty hard to find a good one, but still, what can I ask more for just 1 exalted orb? So for helmet, while critical hit chance will be really good for us, we basically care about resistances more when we're going for really cheap build. And high energy shield is priority. Using 0 quality we can find really nice options. Again, that's basically helmets people find on the ground and just drop for 1 exalt. Again, the problem when you're trading for 1 exalt, it takes a while to someone to actually accept the trade. So most of the time I'm just spamming a lot of people, but we're lucky today. Let's not waste his time. And we got pretty nice helmet. So fire resistance is almost ready. Cold resistance and lightning resistance is what we are focusing on right now. That's the amulet I got. And last but not least, we need a belt. So belt will basically finish our build. But before finishing the build, let's actually find out our final resistances. So while we can basically play like that, in reality we can pretty easily upgrade this build even more just by playing the content itself. Again, you can play content with 0 Exalt build. With this 10 Exalt build you can definitely play the content, we get a lot better resistances, and you can get a little bit of Ash Catalyst to increase lightning modifiers on our rings. That's basically what I'm doing right now. I'm using modifiers to increase power of my breach rings. That's why I got breach rings in the first place, because they can be really nicely upgraded, and lightning resistance will be a lot higher, while all elemental resistance will be higher also. We got pretty nice energy shield, evasion is lacking right now, but that's also pretty fine. So what we can do to fix our evasion, basically, we can upgrade quality of our armor and our helmet. Helmet is energy shield, by the way. Boots is just boots with energy shield also. So basically we're using like armor scrap to upgrade quality of weapon, and mostly armors, of course. Doing holes inside, and this will finish our build later on. But even this will let me use all my buffs beside Wind Dancer. Yeah, so for Wind Dancer I need higher evasion, energy shield on my armor, and that's what can achieved with iron runes. So by dropping iron runes on all our gear we can get a lot higher energy shield pretty easily. So we got almost 4k energy shield already, and by removing clarity from Grim Fist, or actually precision, I can still keep clarity. I can activate everything in my build, so build is just working. We got everything ready. Yeah, 220 spirit, that's what we need. We can have a little bit more with perfect build for herbalism and precision, but that's fine without it. Lightning resistance is what we're looking for right now, and as I told you, we're looking for utility belt. Basically any utility belt will work. as long as it have lightning resistance. That's it, basically. That's everything we need. To be more precise, we're looking for at least 15 lightning resistance. This will work. There's a lot of options for one Exalted Orb, with a lot more resistance than we actually need. So we can find something with nice flask recovery rate, and maybe other bonuses to flasks. That was fast trade, and that's basically what we get in the end. Again, in the end you will have less energy shield, a little bit less evasion if we're not using any quality on our gear. We will have a little bit less resistance if we're not using quality on our rings. Just a little bit, not a lot, but again, this build is basically 10 Exalt. You can get something like this for 10 Exalt. You maybe will find less powerful stick, maybe. But again, I showed you how you can get exactly stuff like this. So in the end we get DPS at 135. If you don't have 5th slot, it won't change. 5th slot only adds damage when we fight. So again, this build is fine with just 4 slots, and it's completely achievable by just playing campaign. You don't need like any extra stuff. How this one Exalted build will work on the maps? Let's find out. Bridge and boss at the same time. Tier 15 map, let's go. So, I don't know guys, in my opinion, build just works. Again, you don't need 1000 Divine Orb build. I mean, just look at this, 10 Exalted, invested, and what we get over here. We get like insanely powerful stuff. Let's find out how we will melt boss, and also I'm really curious how we will survive in the breach. The character is really strong, you just need to like understand how you need to buy items if you buy them, or what stats to look for if you play in solo self-found. Like really important stuff and stats. I'm really curious what you think about this build like right now. Because you know, when people watch my build video, a lot of comments is like, oh dude, you got so overpowered weapon, armor and stuff. It costs so much, so how we can actually play something like this? No. All my builds is actually designed to work for like beginners, for solo self-found and stuff like that. I'm not really like enjoying a lot to show builds that require you to have some 100 divines, to, like armors, amulets and stuff like that. Because when I turn on some videos on YouTube and they called something like budget build for like monk for example, and dude starting a video with something like, oh, I got pretty trash stuff, you know, it's only 20 divine orbs, so pretty budget. I'm like, dude, what's going on? Where is the budget? 20 divines is a pretty like nice investment, and I don't want build that works only on 20 divines. I want builds that perform even with 10 exalts, and that's the build you want and you can go for if you want to clear all content, probably all content. So let's start with this boss actually. Boss is nearby. And that's actually how I suggest you to play before you make like fully upgraded Atlas. Make sure to pick areas with one bosses contain additional shrine. Now you don't have like full power. Shrine gives a lot more power. Right now we're using shrine. We got 250k DPS. I don't know what I need to do right now. I need to await her fire probably once. Then stun and 10 exalted orbs. 10 exalted orbs, guys. Build with 10 exalted orbs. I mean, breach. If you can clear breach like that, you can get like a lot more divine orbs per hour than just... You can get like 10 exalts just by clearing this one breach. So you won't have like any problems with currency when you can clear breach like that. Okay, maybe that's not fair. Let's just buy random stuff from Alva. Yeah, I will go for this one. Okay, let's just for fun drop one augmentation. Nice, we get a little bit more physical damage. So right now we got 27k DPS on the calculator, but let's start fighting. And look here. Instantly it raises to like 70k, but actually it's even higher with the full build. And we just need like 2 more hits on each monster sometime. Like 1 more hit, I mean, so 2 hits to finally destroy one monster. You can basically upgrade this stuff by dropping like 2 Exalts on it, like pretty easily. So it probably will become even better, but as you can see, it's working even with this stuff. We can actually fight versus highest tier, hardest breach. It's hardest breach right now. Yeah, it can't be harder. You see, it's all 8 upgrades. And we're just destroying wall breach with basic blue stuff. That's just crazy, goodness. Oh my god, did you see it? That's crazy. Now I wonder how this stuff will perform against boss. And if we can defeat boss on the map, basically the hardest boss possible on the maps, then we can defeat breach boss tier 1 easily. If you can defeat breach boss tier 1 easily, you can have yourself gloves of wisdom and action. And they will raise DPS like a lot. It's insanely powerful item and insane power boost. And here is the boss, the mushroom boy. What's up, my friend? Okay, that's not like one-shot material, but still, I mean, DPS is pretty fine. We need to learn how to fight a little bit. But again, we gotta stick with just no bonuses. And we can definitely fight versus boss like that. We just need to wait few attacks from time to time. You know, freeze him from time to time. But that basically 0 Exalt stick. Okay, breach tier 4. I'm not sure if I can do it. But again, Hands of Wisdom and Action after defeating tier 1 boss will be really nice addition. But we don't even need to defeat him. If we play in Trade League, we can like basically buy them. They're pretty cheap right now, just for 1 divine, and while clearing all content. I mean, if your build can clear all content besides Pinnacle bosses, you can easily buy any stuff you need, like any piece of gear. Okay, it definitely feels like weaker than my normal build, but again, my normal build is 1000 divines or something like that at current market prices. This one was built for 10 exalted orbs, and seems like we're doing like pretty fine right now. Pretty fine. I'm not sure how the fight versus boss will go, but okay, we're coming close. I will get the loot later. I want my stick to be active at the start of the combat. Okay, we need to wait this stuff. I mean, it looks fine for 10 Exalted Orbs. He is frozen. 10 Exalted Orbs. 10 Exalted Orbs to beat Breach Boss level 4. So if you want to build this build yourself, make sure to watch video on the screen right now.